as you probably know from your watch lists, right? A lot of altcoins are moving big, okay? And this is so the crypto bubbles for the week, meaning since Sunday, it's Monday, right? So that's just 2 days worth of trading. You can see already some are 160%, a lot of double digit gainers. This is not something we've seen in a while, okay? So expect that to continue as we approach our $1 trillion target on the total too. In any case, back to Bitcoin. Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is Christmas Day, December 25th, 2023. And so exciting for crypto revelers because we're finally getting a pump in the cryptocurrency market. And of course, Bitcoin's not moving much. Bitcoin's going to move a bit, and I'm going to tell you where I'm targeting Bitcoin to the upside in a minute. But most importantly and most exciting is the large pump from altcoins that have not pumped for over 500 days. Guys, if that sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Once again, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Hope everyone's having a great day. Let's get started with the total 2 chart, which is the aggregate altcoin chart. Basically all the altcoins, non-Bitcoin assets smashed together into one chart. This is it, right? What does it look like? Just like I said, 525 days of sideways accumulation finally broken out of, okay? This is that accumulation broken out of. Here's your impulse. And this right here, this green line is our target, okay? This is our high probability next likely target for this pump to the upside, okay? And so we're not yet there, and look at this imbalance. I've noticed, or I mentioned this before on in the analysis. You're not gonna just stop here. That doesn't work, okay? You can do some intra-wave consolidation, you can chop up, but basically you're going to come here with a high degree of probability. This is not if, it's when, okay? So that's what we're looking at, and it's likely, given that this happened in a short amount of time, there's very little choppiness over here. There's a lot of imbalance, meaning there was only sellers present in this drawdown from 1 trillion all the way down to about 660 billion. You're likely to move up in the same way from this level. So I believe that despite us chopping, taking a while to get up here, given that right here we started coming down hard on the way down, we should go up quickly on the way up. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing with the altcoin chart. Again, be very mindful of this target. It is a high probability target. How did we acquire it? It bears repeating. This is why I'm repeating it, guys. If you've seen this analysis, you know, I'm repeating it because it's really important, right? Trading is about knowing when to take profits. Most people are just going to leave their assets in, and I'm going to show you why that may be risky in this instance, okay? So look, actually, let me do... Okay, this is fine. Okay, this is fine. Right here, we have a phi ratio. Okay, the phi ratio is the 0.618, mathematically important. Typically, the phi ratio represents some sort of resistance or support. It's a level that's respected, okay? So if I'm looking at this impulse in particular, the phi ratio is about 836. I do expect some sort of reaction at 836. Do I expect us to stop at 836? Not necessarily. I do expect some sort of reaction, so maybe some sideways consolidation. But we've gotten sideways consolidation up and through this entire move, so that shouldn't be new. But what I'm really looking at in terms of my final target for this move to the upside in altcoins is the $1 trillion mark. If you've been watching this channel, I have noted this quite a lot. So $1 trillion is where I'm expecting for us to hit a relatively hard stop, okay? And so once we get to this level, I do anticipate some sort of distributive pattern and then a move all the way back down here. This is why it's important to really pay attention to this, and this is why I keep repeating this, right? We've been waiting for 525 days for this to break out, okay? Finally broke out. It's giving us this move. We're almost a third of the way through, maybe less than halfway through. But finally, when we do get this move to the upside to the $1 trillion mark, you do want to look to take profit. I don't know for sure. Nothing's 100%. This is technical analysis. It's probabilistic, right? But with a high degree of probability, given that this entire move to the left right here, 1, 2, 3, a zigzag pattern, right? An A, B, C, X, Y, Z, doesn't matter how you annotate it. It is a drawdown that was impulsive, right? If you take the Fibonacci retracement of this, the 0.618 phi ratio represents $1 trillion, the $1 trillion mark. Also, if you look at all of this as some sort of bullish reversal pattern, right? Inverse head and shoulders, cup and handle, it doesn't matter. You take the technical height of this pattern, superimpose it from the site of breakout, you also get $1 trillion. There's your confluence. High degree of probability that once we hit $1 trillion, most altcoins will start distributing, i.e. most altcoins will start going sideways and eventually come back down, and that will be likely a very strong move to the downside, giving us a retest of this 525-day resistance that was finally broken when we broke this. Okay, so that's why you want to pay attention. Again, I don't think you should panic and like lose sleep over the fact that, you know, it's going to happen immediately. No. These distributions take time, as we saw with Bitcoin, which we're going to look at in a second, by the way. You hit the level and then you start going sideways. So you will have time. You will have time. Don't panic. Rest easy. You will have time. You will have the ability to recognize a consolidation, but most people are not going to be able to distinguish this consolidation at the $1 trillion mark from these intra-wave consolidations. They're just going to think that it's just another one of those, and then the altcoins are going to continue to go up. Every move has an endpoint. Every move has a retracement. So that's what I want to say, reiterate about the altcoins. Be very careful. Use this total 2 chart as a guideline, as a guidepost, right? All altcoins are not going to retrace at the same time or in the same way, but this is a general guidepost for your altcoin trading. Okay, so that's the total 2 chart. That's what altcoins are doing. Very exciting that we're in the middle of this volume gap right here. Okay, we're in the middle of this volume gap right here, and we're getting that move. And right now it's just sit and wait for that to hit, and it shouldn't be too long, in my estimation. Okay, given what I said about the volume gap there. All right, now Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin is doing what we thought it would. Okay, let's go on the 4-hourly time frame. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. So, we were saying that this entire thing, so this mauve or yellow, yellowish orange corrective pattern is an ABC, right? 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and finally 5 waves down rather. So we're looking for this correction, right? Some people who don't know really about technical analysis are saying, oh, Bitcoin's going to break out. Like, you're going to be waiting a long time. Same people are probably thinking Chainlink is going to break out. Going to be waiting a long time. You're in correction. There are certain things that are not in correction, but Bitcoin is in correction. And while Bitcoin's going sideways, up and down in this range right here, that's where you see altcoins doing what they're doing, right? As you probably know from your watch lists, right? A lot of altcoins are moving big, okay? And this is sort of crypto bubbles for the week, meaning since Sunday, it's Monday, right? So that's just 2 days worth of trading. You can see already some are 160%, a lot of double-digit gainers. This is not something we've seen in a while, okay? So expect that to continue as we approach our $1 trillion target on the total too. In any case, back to Bitcoin. What I'm seeing in this corrective pattern, and corrective patterns are tough to read, but you know, an attempt can be made to read them just to get a gauge as to what's going on so that we get out of the way for this. I don't think that you get this until we get to that $1 trillion mark, because it's a high degree of probability that altcoins get to that $1 trillion mark. Once we get to that $1 trillion mark, then you can look out for Bitcoin to correct back down to 38K. Why 38K? Well, as we've said before, that is our target for this correction, because we spent a long time under 38K, finally broke that resistance, and now we have to come back, retest it as support. Okay, so that's what I believe is going to happen. So what is Bitcoin doing now? On the hourly time frame, here's what I believe with a high degree of probability is going on. I believe that I would annotate this in the following way. An A wave, 3 waves down, okay? This is my B wave, okay? So this is my first degree of AB basing right here, okay? Now I get a secondary A wave, a secondary B wave. That's my second degree of AB basing, okay? Now I just need one more, which I call a pivot. Basically, you know, another pair of AB basing. So I'm looking at this as my A wave, okay, my third A wave, and now this is my third B wave. And once we get to the top here is when I think this will be complete. 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot. That's how I'm reading this, okay? Could be wrong, but with a high degree of probability, you do not get typically distributive patterns, accumulation patterns. If you look at them as a range, by and large, you test the top, you test the bottom and the top, and you don't break down until you test the top for one last time and then start your way down, okay? Because if we think this is a distributive pattern, i.e. a technical range that's going to eventually break down, the last move before that breakdown is going to be a retest of the top, okay? And this is all Wyckoff theory, if you don't know what I'm talking about. I was referencing 2 degrees of AB basing and 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot. That is Elliott wave theory, okay? And that's my kind of interpretation of Elliott wave corrections, AB basing. But you can also see a lot of that theory, a lot of that ideation in Wyckoff corrective patterns, Wyckoff accumulation and distribution patterns. And I kind of mix the two. You know, I use my knowledge of Wyckoff to kind of suss these patterns out. In any case, if you zoom in, you can see why there's a high likelihood that you're going to get a breakout here in Bitcoin. And that breakout can be as high as 45K. Okay, it's not much, but it's something. Do expect Bitcoin with a high degree of probability to go up in the immediate short term because of this. You see what I mean? Like, if you're looking at this just in terms of a pattern analysis, what you're looking at here is an inverse head and shoulders, bullish reversal pattern. Right here, this is your left shoulder, this is your head, and this is your right shoulder forming. The target of this inverse head and shoulders is pretty much the height superimposed from the side of breakout. That gives you almost that 5 ratio 1618, which is the maximal. And basically what I did here is I pulled an inverse Fibonacci retracement of this purported A wave, okay? And we know B waves only move to a maximum of the phi ratio of an A wave. So you see what I mean? So I took the stochastic, I took the this A wave, right? Measured it with the inverse Fibonacci retracement tool. So the reverse 1618 is 45,358. So this B wave can break out around here to a maximum of 45K. So I think we should expect Bitcoin to go to 45K, and that move taking Bitcoin out from this, right? Remember, we said it was likely going to break down. It did. And this move here is going to be our last hurrah in this larger corrective pattern before our C wave down. And I've said this before, the move from Bitcoin from 45 to 38 is more likely than not what's going to take you in the total two from the $1 trillion mark, right? After you hit it, back down to the previous resistance of the 525-day range, retesting it as support. So, you kind of just want to pay attention to that, be mindful of that. Do not get caught back into that, because look, and this isn't for everybody. Everybody has a different trading thesis, different strategy. Some people are just buy and hold, which is perfectly fine. Some people are not comfortable with trading in and out. But if you're trading and you're trying to trade on a high time frame, avoid big losses or avoid big drawdowns, right? This is a relatively large drawdown, right? The first pump of the bull market, the altcoin bull market, in effect, is going to yield quite a serious retracement, right? And on this chart, it's a 618 retracement, so 61.8% of whatever you had. And that's assuming you got in at the bottom. Most people didn't. So basically, let's say you got in here, you're losing 100% or more if you don't get out at this top. Do you see what I mean? Okay. And so really quickly, before we end this quick Christmas Day update, I just want to have a quick look at the US dollar currency index and Bitcoin dominance. So let's start actually with Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance, measure of Bitcoin's dominance versus the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Basically, what you want is, if you're bullish on altcoins, sorry, one second, let me fix my screen. If you're bullish on altcoins, what you're going to want is Bitcoin dominance going down. That means altcoins are gaining against Bitcoin in the whole crypto space. So this is very nice, and we should probably expect this to continue just a little bit, not too much. You can see already the stochastic RSI on the daily time frame is just about down to the bottom and about to cross bullish. So what I would expect is just a touch more of this move down, but not too much more, okay? But basically, this should continue for a little bit more, okay? You can see that we're on the daily time frame. What is going on? I'm trying to erase these marks. Okay, we're on the daily time frame. If you go on the 4-hourly time frame, you just zoom in. You can see that you still have yet to find support. So I do expect for this to continue to the way down, and that's a good sign. That means, being in altcoins, you're basically going to gain against Bitcoin. Okay, so that's the Bitcoin dominance. Last but not least, the US dollar currency index. We know just by looking at this indicator, US dollar currency index going up means Bitcoin's going down, and vice versa. So if we're bullish on crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins, we typically want the US dollar currency index to go down, meaning Bitcoin is going to go up, because that's basically the dollar. And if the dollar is weaker, that means crypto is stronger, and vice versa. Right here, because we're a bank holiday, we're not moving. The stock market's not moving, and most of the world's trading markets are closed for Christmas. You see that this is pretty much frozen. What's going to happen tomorrow, Tuesday the 26th, which is actually also a full moon? And remember, full moons represent local market bottoms in markets. Just keep that in mind. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but if I had to guess, Looking at the hourly time frame, I think we gap down. Okay, meaning you have this move come down, right? So we're gonna probably start here. We're gonna open down here somewhere, and then we're gonna gap or move up to fill the gap. Okay, and so that move up is going to be also correlated with a move down in Bitcoin, move down in altcoins. But it's hard to time the DXY. Really, the DXY analysis is most useful, in my opinion, not on the small time frames, but on the large time frames. And on the large time frames, it's just like I said before. We're really bullish for 2024, and we were bullish for the end of 2023 only because we saw a 3-wave pattern, okay, a zigzag, 5 waves, 3 waves, 5 waves. We anticipate that these 5 waves will continue. Obviously, you're going to get some intra-wave retracements, but on the high time frames, right, you expect this to continue to the downside, okay? And that is going to basically be correlated with a strong move up in crypto. Maybe not only Bitcoin, but, in crypto writ large. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. Merry Christmas once again, and I will see you next time. Take care.